This is problem 15 from the friction sheet. If we're working on the lab, can we bring our audio level down a little bit? Somebody asked me about number 15. Go ahead and continue to work on the mock test if you're working on it. So 15 says an 8.12 kilogram block of wood is moving to the right at 4.5 meters per second. There is a coefficient of 0.21 between the wood and the floor. If no other force acts on the ground, what distance will the block stop? So the first thing they do is they find the force of friction, which is 16.711, right? And then if it's sliding to a halt, that's the only force acting on it, and that equals ma, and there's the acceleration, right? And then you have to figure out how far it goes. You know the initial velocity, the final velocity, the deceleration, and so you use this formula to find your distance. Yeah? Right? Guys, can we be quieter? Thanks. Okay, so that's how you get the distance. Then it says, if the block stops sliding in 3.15 meters, what's the acceleration and what other force has to be applied to the block? So now it stops sooner, so there's going to be, by the way, a force to the left. Right, but we don't need to know that right at this point. So the final velocity is 0, initial is 4.5, and we're told that it stops in 3.15 meters. So you find its acceleration. It's going to be a bigger acceleration or deceleration, right, because it stops in a shorter distance. And then you set up your Newton's second law. Friction force is acting to the left. The unknown force is acting in an unknown way, right? And then that equals m times a. Notice that the acceleration has to be negative. Friction force is negative, and that's because if it's sliding to the right, the friction force will oppose the sliding, right? And then the force, when you get the unknown force, it's negative 9.4 newtons. Negative means that it's to the left. It's also to the left, which makes sense that you'd need yet another force, the unknown force acting to the left, to make it stop in a shorter distance than it would stop without that force. Alex? That's like a real popular one. If they tell you the distance, not so much, put them all on there. Or just, you can also use a formula sheet, right? If I tell you time, and I can't remember which one I tell you on the test thing, you use the 1f at squared one, right? Or the vf is vi plus at kind of a thing. So, are we okay on 15?